The universe has been your sugar daddy all along, chosen one, and today marks the day you finally cash that cosmic check. Right now, as these words penetrate your consciousness, something extraordinary is crystallizing in the quantum field around you. Your first bag isn't just secured, it's already downloaded into your reality matrix, waiting for you to reach out and claim what was always yours by divine right. The moment you assume your sovereign authority, every force that was holding you back reveals itself with startling clarity. Those people who thought they could keep you wearing blinders, who assumed you'd resist clarity and stay in their manufactured la-la land forever, they're about to discover they gravely miscalculated the depth of your transformation. Something shifted few days ago. You felt a sudden clarity cutting through years of fog, or perhaps it arrived as an inexplicable certainty that the game had fundamentally changed. That wasn't random timing, that was your cosmic alarm clock going off after a lifetime of preparation. The hassles that have been strangling your progress are being systematically removed because you finally learned the most dangerous skill in the universe, standing on business without apology. Watch what happens next. Every person who conspired against you, who tried to undermine your foundation, who refused to cooperate with your vision, they're about to be plucked from your equation with surgical precision. Bibbity bobby boom boopity boop. Gone. These people didn't make the final cut. And the beautiful thing is, you're not even angry about it anymore. You've evolved beyond the need for their validation, beyond the reach of their manipulation, beyond the frequency of their limitations. But here's the element that will leave you breathless. You are scary accurate now. Your perception has become so razor-sharp that people are genuinely unnerved by how clearly you see through their facades. You stay 10 steps ahead of their schemes because your intuitive abilities have been activated to supernatural levels. They thought they could run game on you, but you've developed the ability to predict their moves before they even make them. This accuracy isn't just about reading people, it's about reading reality itself, seeing the patterns that govern outcomes, understanding the energetic signatures that precede every manifestation. But the real revelation is coming. The reason they worked so hard to keep you small, the reason they formed alliances against you, the reason they gathered together despite not even liking each other, they recognized something in you that you're only now beginning to remember. When you can make people who despise each other unite under one common cause, that reveals the magnitude of your influence. You are not ordinary, chosen one. You never were. You're a gravitational force that compels action whether people support you or oppose you. Here's the conspiracy they never wanted you to discover. You've been influential since day one, and they've been working overtime to hide that fact from you. Every time they made you feel like you were falling short, every instance they convinced you that maybe you weren't as capable as you believed, that was psychological warfare designed to keep you from accessing your natural dominion over reality. Your perfect match is already in motion toward you, not just romantically, but in every dimension of existence. The right opportunities, the right collaborators, the right circumstances, they're converging on your location like iron filings drawn to a magnet. These people who thought they could treat you like a yo-yo, giving you mixed signals and false promises, are watching in real time as you align with forces they can't compete with. The ones who ghosted you are especially shaken because they gambled that you'd always be available whenever they decided to return. They tested your boundaries, pushed your patience, assumed your kindness was weakness. Now they're witnessing your metamorphosis into someone who doesn't just demand respect, but commands it effortlessly. The cold shoulders they gave you, the calculated cruelty they deployed, all of it backfired spectacularly. These people are low-key crying about you now. They're venting to anyone who will listen, but they're trying to keep it hidden because they know how it looks. Some of them literally cannot contain their emotions when your name comes up in conversation. They see that you're now aligned with your perfect match in every area of life, and they know they messed up irreversibly. They were wishy-washy with you, trying to keep you in the dark while simultaneously bringing trouble into your life. They treated you like a toy they could pick up and put down at will, telling you one thing and then retracting it, playing endless games of psychological manipulation. You prayed for these people, didn't you? Even when they were provoking you, even when they were working as teams to embarrass you, you maintained your spiritual center and loved them through their attacks. But that season of turning the other cheek is officially over. You're starting a new era where you are celebrated, where your name carries weight, where your influence creates ripples that reach further than you can currently imagine. The beautiful irony is that their attempts to diminish you actually fortified your resolve. Every conspiracy they hatched, every alliance they formed, every coordinated effort to make you look foolish, it all served to prove something crucial about your power. You don't just inspire loyalty, you inspire opposition from people who recognize they're in the presence of someone extraordinary. This is where the story gets delicious. You've officially summoned an entirely new constellation of allies, and the contrast between your old circle and your new family is so stark that even casual observers are taking notes. Some of these connections are reconciliations with people who genuinely learned from their mistakes, but most are brand new souls who match your frequency without effort. These aren't just friendships or business partnerships, these are cosmic contracts that were negotiated before you incarnated. People who understand your language without translation, who support your vision without needing proof, who celebrate your wins without jealousy. The telepathic connections you're forming will feel surreal at first because you've been conditioned to expect struggle in relationships. You've waited so long for friendships like this. These are people who naturally understand you without judgment. Let's say you've gone no contact with toxic family members, while others question your decision, asking how could you cut off family. Your new chosen family responds with, I understand why you did that. Sometimes we have to make those difficult choices for our own survival and growth. These new allies aren't going anywhere. They won't cut you off. They won't take things out on you. They won't ghost you, and they won't just disappear when things get challenging. You literally cannot be finessed anymore because you've developed immunity to manipulation tactics through pure discernment. But here's what's about to blow your mind. Your chosen family isn't just arriving for emotional support. They're coming equipped with resources, connections, and abilities that perfectly complement your own. The universe doesn't send reinforcements randomly. When you're being prepared for a significant expansion, the people who can help you navigate that expansion appear like clockwork. The people who are naturally good, who shine bright without competing, who have big personalities and generous hearts, they're magnetized to you now because you're finally operating at your true frequency. You've passed the karmic tests that were disguising themselves as toxic relationships. Every manipulative person, every energy vampire, every dream killer you've encountered was actually an assignment designed to strengthen your discernment and fortify your boundaries. Watch how differently these new connections feel. Where the old relationships required constant management and emotional labor, these new bonds will feel effortless. Where you used to have to explain your decisions and justify your choices, these people will understand your vision before you finish describing it. Where you used to feel drained after interactions, you'll feel energized and inspired. You're operating from supreme dominion now, and the energy radiating from you is so potent that it's making former adversaries physically uncomfortable. They invested enormous amounts of time and energy trying to orchestrate your downfall, working in coordinated teams, forming strategic alliances, all focused on one target. But they miscalculated something fundamental about your nature. You don't just survive opposition, you transform it into fuel for your ascension. These conspirators are getting front row seats to something they never expected: your unshakable happiness, your bulletproof support system, your complete immunity to their psychological warfare. They wanted to have their cake and eat it too, disrespecting you while maintaining access to your energy, your resources, your light. They thought they could keep you in the dark about their true intentions while stirring up chaos behind your back. But you see everything now with crystalline clarity. their patterns, their motivations, their desperate attempts to pull you back into their drama. Some are literally venting about you to anyone who will listen, unable to hide their obsession with your transformation. They're watching you step into alignment with your destiny, and realizing they missed their opportunity to be part of your legendary story. You have people spooked now. They're moving uneasily, feeling disturbed by the fact that you cannot be held down anymore. You are officially a free spirit in the most powerful sense, free from their opinions, their manipulation, their attempts to keep you small. These people are bored with their own lives, and you simply can't deal with people who are bored anymore. They're getting one-way tickets out of your existence because you're done entertaining energy vampires and dream killers. The upcoming days ahead are going to be filled with literal sunshine as you walk away from drama and trauma bonds. You want to do the most in your life and be appreciated for it, not feel guilty about wanting space and boundaries. The truth they're discovering is that you're not just successful, you're becoming inevitable. When you start standing on business, when you refuse to water down your message, when you demand the respect you've always deserved, reality itself begins to reorganize around your clarity. They thought your competence was a rumor until you put on your crown and reminded them exactly who they were dealing with. Here's what's about to unfold. Your financial breakthrough is arriving within 20 days, money you've never seen before, arriving at the perfect time because you've finally prepared the container to receive it. Your dreams aren't just being activated, they're being fast-tracked through divine intervention. The universe is spoiling you because you finally learned to stop apologizing for your excellence. You are attracting a spectacular timeline jump that will shock even your closest allies. You started calling back your power, refusing to let people group together and team up against you because you realized their tactics simply won't work anymore. You developed a game plan, and as you implemented that strategy, everything began falling into place with supernatural precision. Before, you hesitated to take decisive action because it seemed overwhelming, because you worried about people not liking your choices or thinking you were being unreasonable. But now you're standing on business with unwavering confidence. This is the moment everything you've been building crystallizes into unstoppable reality, the crescendo where all your preparation converges into pure manifestation. That confidence to make grand gestures, to take significant risks, to bet on yourself in ways that would have terrified the old version of you. When you tell someone their services are no longer required, watch for the authentic self that emerges when their facade crumbles. You'll witness childish tantrums, manipulative tears, desperate attempts to make you feel guilty for having boundaries. These are the same people who could never make anything simple, who always had elaborate excuses for their failures and complex explanations for why you were somehow responsible for their shortcomings, but accountability was never included in their programming. They exhausted you with their drama while refusing to take responsibility for their own choices. They were toxic influences on every dynamic they touched, creating chaos and then acting shocked when consequences arrived. Now everyone is talking about your complete transformation, comparing your old squad to your new team and wondering how the switch happened so decisively. The mathematics is elegant in its simplicity. You upgraded your entire existence by removing everything that wasn't serving your highest good. You fired everyone who was betting against you. You cleaned house with the precision of a master strategist, leaving people's heads spinning as they tried to comprehend the scope of your renovation. They thought your capabilities were rumors until you demonstrated exactly what happens when someone stops playing small and starts operating from their unlimited potential. They don't like that you figured out their games, that you saw through their manipulation tactics, that you refused to continue participating in dynamics designed to keep you losing. Your influence is spreading like wildfire now. Word about your transformation is reaching people you've never met, who are already impressed by what they're hearing. You have personal stalkers monitoring your every move, analyzing your choices, trying to reverse engineer your success formula. But it's too late for them to change your trajectory. You've seen what they do out of spite, witnessed their fundamental weakness, recognized their inability to match your elevated frequency. You are becoming an official light to your generation, a beacon that others follow toward their own awakening. The recognition coming your way operates on multiple levels simultaneously. Online fame and internet recognition are building momentum as powerful people notice your discipline, your consistency, your refusal to compromise your standards. Meetings are being held about you in boardrooms you've never seen, by people who recognize exceptional talent when they encounter it. Your natural gifts for leadership, public speaking, modeling and coaching are finally being showcased without interference from people who needed you to stay small so they could feel adequate. You're stepping into your sophistication, embracing your mobility and appetite for adventure. The smooth sailing ahead might feel unfamiliar because you've been conditioned to expect struggle, but this new phase operates by entirely different laws. You naturally possess extraordinary talents and abilities. You excel at connecting with people, leading with authenticity, sharing your knowledge, and inspiring transformation in others. But the people around you weren't making you feel like the powerhouse you truly are. They had you questioning your own capabilities, making you wonder whether you were actually as gifted as you knew deep down. They were constantly making you feel like you weren't measuring up, like maybe you weren't meant to shine as brightly as your soul was calling you to. But the truth is undeniable. You were born to be exceptional. You went through a period of deep reflection and strategic planning to figure out a completely different approach, and now you're operating with unstoppable momentum. You're winning because you finally stopped playing by their rules and started honoring your own brilliance. Everything that's supposed to align in your life is going to feel remarkably easy now. Not because you're getting special treatment, but because you're finally flowing with your natural current instead of fighting against it. Your timing has become impeccable because you've learned to wait for divine timing rather than forcing outcomes through impatience. The luxury you're destined for might challenge your conditioning around struggle and sacrifice, but you're meant for ease, beauty, and experiences that feed your soul rather than drain it. The people who've been secretly praying for your downfall, co-workers, fake friends, neighbors, even family members, they've been intimidated by your potential since day one. Your legacy has been secured through years of consistent work, consistent character, and consistent commitment to your vision, even when no one else believed in it. What you've built is unshakable because it was constructed on the solid foundation of your authentic self rather than the shifting sands of external validation. You've helped countless people along the way, given from your heart without strings attached, without expecting returns on your investment in others. Even those who didn't appreciate your generosity, who mistook your kindness for naivety, you're still being rewarded for those good deeds because the universe maintains perfect accounting. Every act of love, every moment of support, every time you chose compassion over retaliation has been recorded and will be returned to you exponentially. The commanding presence you now embody surprises even you. When you walk into rooms, energy shifts palpably. When you speak, people listen with genuine attention. When you make decisions, things move swiftly. This isn't arrogance. This is you, finally occupying your rightful space in reality, instead of shrinking to accommodate other people's insecurities. Your financial abundance is manifesting because you've removed the energetic blocks that were restricting the flow. The sponsorships and opportunities materializing represent recognition of the platform and presence you've cultivated through authentic expression rather than manufactured personas. You're becoming your own boss in every conceivable dimension, financially, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. People are having literal meetings about you in boardrooms you've never seen. They're observing your discipline, your consistency, your work ethic, and the quality of content you produce. There's something about the way you show up that's attracting powerful people who want to help you market, advertise, and sponsor your vision. New sponsorships and collaborations are heading your way, because you've built something that cannot be ignored. You're going to start making grand gestures because you feel confident enough to take significant risks. This might mean turning in your resignation, restructuring your entire professional life, or making bold moves that would have terrified the previous version of yourself. Here's where their entire strategy backfires in the most spectacular way. Every attempt to send you negative energy has backfired spectacularly. The spell work, the sabotage, the coordinated efforts to dim your light, all of it has been transformed into protection and acceleration of your highest good. Your haters aren't just blocked digitally, they're blocked cosmically, divinely, energetically. The universe has essentially put them on a payment plan if they want to access your attention. Somebody has been sending you spell work because they see you as a direct threat to their position. They recognize that you're a smoke show, that you're competition they cannot match through legitimate means, but you've been denying all destiny interference attempts with supernatural effectiveness. Every time someone tries to steal or harvest your light, your own energy, beauty and finances only multiply and enhance. Their plans have gone up in smoke because you're energetically protected at the highest levels. You had low-key eyes on you from people who were triggered by your natural radiance, sending hate both online and in your immediate vicinity. They were venting about your success, your beauty, your influence, but their negativity has been transformed into fuel for your acceleration. You're about to experience levels of success that will make people literally throw themselves on the floor in dramatic displays of regret. Some will beg, some will bargain, some will try to guilt you back into their limited reality. But you're operating from a frequency now where their tantrums sound like distant thunder, dramatic but powerless to change the weather of your destiny. The people who are meant to be in your life don't give up easily. They fight for their connection with you because they recognize value when they encounter it. This existence you're building is custom designed to your exact specifications, tailored to showcase your unique gifts and amplify your distinctive talents. Another surprise is developing in secret, something unexpected that's been incubating while you've been focused on the obvious transformations. Your vision has become crystal clear because you've removed the obstacles that were distorting your perspective. You're clearing a path now with surgical precision, and anything that doesn't serve your highest good simply has to relocate. The talk of every town you touch isn't gossip, it's recognition of undeniable transformation. You will be the generational curse breaker who changes the trajectory for everyone who comes after you. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Chosen one. People are gathering around you because you've become the standard, the one everyone wants to learn from, be mentored by, be coached and guided by. You're going to start living your absolute best life now, stopping to smell roses, picking flowers, taking pictures of birds, going on nature walks. If you want to spend all day on a boat fishing, that's exactly what you'll do. If you want to play in the dirt on a quad or dirt bike, if your kids are into motocross and you haven't had enough time with them, this is what you'll finally be able to prioritize. You can literally start doing whatever brings you joy because you've cleared the path of everything that was restricting your freedom. This is how legends are forged. Not through perfection, but through the courage to shed everything inauthentic and stand in pure power until the universe rushes to provide exactly what you've always deserved. The intimidation you create now is humble intimidation, like someone who knows their strength and wields it responsibly. You are the golden ticket now, chosen one. You are the twist in the tale, the plot twist that nobody saw coming. Affirm this truth until it becomes your cellular reality. I am the golden ticket. I am the twist in the tale. I am the plot twist. Your very existence is rewriting the rules of what's possible, showing others that transformation this complete, this magnificent, this unstoppable is not only possible, but inevitable for those brave enough to claim their birthright. Your happily ever after isn't a destination you're traveling toward, it's a way of being you're embodying in real time. You don't need permission, perfect circumstances, or other people's approval. You're falling in love with your life as it unfolds. creating bonds that feel telepathic in their intimacy, connections where excellence is appreciated rather than resented. The Obsidian Inner Order is a sanctuary for those who have walked difficult paths and emerged with wisdom others can't see. We understand that some experiences exist outside the boundaries of what most people consider possible or acceptable to discuss. Every week we gather live on Zoom, real people with real faces sharing real stories without judgment. There's space here for the experiences you've carried in silence, the patterns you've noticed that others dismiss, the intuitive knowledge you've gained through your journey. We don't just listen, we understand. When you're struggling to make sense of your experiences, when you feel gaslit by a world that refuses to acknowledge your reality, you can return to our recorded calls and remember that your perception is valid. Join the Obsidian Inner Order, where your reality is honored and your voice is heard. Link in description. The next time you fall in love with a person, project or possibility, it's going to be with something that matches your elevated frequency. No more settling for compatibility when you can have cosmic alignment. These relationships will develop organically, feel sustainable naturally, and require minimal maintenance because they're built on authentic resonance rather than forced chemistry. You fought every force that tried to keep you small, and your victory is now undeniable. Your curtain call has arrived. The spotlight you've been preparing for your entire life is finally illuminating your stage. Everyone is watching to see what you do next, and the anticipation is electric. The universe that was your sugar daddy from the beginning is now your business partner, your collaborator, your co-conspirator in creating a reality that exceeds even your wildest dreams. Those blinders they tried to keep on you are permanently removed. The la-la land they wanted to trap you in has been replaced by a kingdom of your own design. You're not just showing them what you do best, you're demonstrating what becomes possible when someone stops giving a single care about limitations and starts living from unlimited potential. They never saw this coming because they couldn't conceive of transformation this complete, this rapid, this magnificent. The question isn't whether you're ready for this level of success and recognition. The question is whether success and recognition are prepared for the force of nature you've become, based on everything you've overcome, everything you've integrated, and everything you've transformed into. The answer is gloriously obvious. You're not just ready, chosen one, you're inevitable. The cosmic check has cleared, the first bag is secured, and your resignation from mediocrity is officially accepted. The universe has been your sugar daddy all along, and now you're stepping into your role as heir to everything you've always known you deserved. This is your moment. This is your time. This is what you were born for. Show them what happens when a chosen one finally chooses themselves completely, unapologetically, and irrevocably. They thought they knew you, but they never saw this coming. Now they'll never forget what they witnessed when you finally decided to stop playing small and started playing God with your own destiny. The transformation is complete. The legend begins now.